much. Thank you very much. Before I go into the gist of this, I want to just to comment after my worthy opponent. He says he learned from his friend. And by the way, that friend learned from government. So it's a chain. It happens like that. Sometimes we can't reach every individual farmer, but one way or the other, we are able to reach out there. We have all these constraints, but we realize that 80% of our population who live in the rural area are majorly entirely engaged in agricultural activities. We define a farmer as one who operates an agricultural enterprise that cultivates crops or raises animals, including livestock. And most of the time, people imagine that everybody in the rural area is a farmer, but we are starting to register to know exactly who are these farmers out there in the countryside. We have an estimate of about 4.4 million smallholder farmers in Kenya. 3.5 for crop farming, 600,000 pastoralists, and 130 fisher folk. Collectively, these small-scale farmers account for 60% of production of agricultural outputs in the nation. This is a population, obviously, where the government cannot afford to ignore. So we have a number of policies. I would like to just enumerate a little bit. And the ministry has developed more than 40 policies, strategies, statutes, bills, and regulations that are mainly entirely address the small-scale farmer. The two core policy that the ministry has formulated is the agriculture policy and the veterinary policy. While several policies have been developed to support and implement these two core policies, the main overarching strategy that we are now implementing, that was launched in 2019 and is supposed to run up to for 10 years up to 2029, is the agricultural sector transformation and growth strategy. And it has 9 pillars, and they address the small-scale farmer, about targeting 1 million farmers in 40 zones served by 1,000 farmer-facing SMEs, shifting the national subsidy program from what we have been doing to a more structured and to benefit the smallholder farmers, boosting food resilience in the dry areas, promoting extension services, and the area that Banwachira had talked about, the extension service. And I'll come to that because it is entirely devolved. So in addition to the big 4 that the president launched, and it has very clear targets on which we are supposed to meet for our nation in terms of maize, rice, potato, milk, and fish. We are also reviewing the present agricultural Kenya Extension Services policy to be able to bring it in line with what we have currently in the devolved units, and the agricultural research systems policy to focus on how do we harmonize the different aspects that are happening in different organizations of research. So there are a number of things and initiatives that the government has engaged in: the coffee research, the coffee cherry fund, the tea reforms that Banwachira mentioned about the KTDA and how to empower farmers in management of this, distribution of milk coolers, development of fish landing sites, establishment of warehouse receipt system, because the small-scale farmer has always a problem of where to market. So how do we help the small-scale farmer to put their produce together to be able to market and benefit? So what I had mentioned a little bit about the devolved system, at the national level, we remained with policy formulation, implementation, and review, while the entire extension service is completely devolved. And so We are working together with the counties and supporting the counties to be able to address the issue, because the small-scale farmer is right in the counties. And how do we, that's where the rubber meets the road, not in the national government, but in the counties. So how do we help these counties also to address the issues that the small-scale farmers are bringing up? The other issue, before I finish my time, is the cooperative sector. There is a lot of that is going on to be able to align the cooperative legislation to the constitution, and so that farmers can work together, make their demands together, market together, and benefit together. Thank you.